Hello class, this is the Biodex system. So what we have to do first before we use this is turn it on. I invite you to come back here. We have this switch. You turn it up just like that on a Tuesday. So then next we have to turn on the computer, which is this switch right here. So the most important thing when we're working with Biodex is we have to turn it on and from the back, and then we turn on the computer. When we go to shut it off, it's going to be the other way around. We have to shut the computer off first, and then the switch in back, we turn that off, turn it down. So as we're waiting for it to start, I am going to input a password. I can't give you that password, it's secret, top secret.
I'm not sure why.
And when it prompts you to, you're going to hit Control-Alt-Delete. And you're going to input the super secret password that is not written on a sticky note anywhere near this contraption. And it's going to welcome you. Then we hit Cancel. So then when we're prompted, we have to hit Start here on the control box. We hit Start. The control panel is working. We are initializing the dynamometer. So it's working, and I will go into the, I'm gonna hit start one more time. I'm gonna go into the system. It's gonna make noises. So the next what I have to do is I have to go into our protocol. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new patient protocol. So what we first have to do is we have to add our patient's information. I'm going to go here, this little icon, and I'm going to click on this icon right here, Add Patient. And all we're going to do is we're going to add our patient's name in. So make sure you know how to spell. We're not going to give full patient information. We're going to do male, right. We are going to input his weight. That's weight in pounds. His birthday. And we are going to give him an ID number. Let's call him AS. Make sure you have underscore because that's very important. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to test the right leg today. So then I hit save. And now we have a new patient. So we're going to open a protocol, or we're going to open up our subject. There he is. And we're going to click on new. And so now we just make our new protocol. And click on this protocol button. Excuse me, that is not the right one. We click add. So we're going to keep it in isokinetic mode. We're going to keep it about the knee joint, keep it about flexion and extension, and we're going to describe, or we're going to add a description to this protocol. Let's call it KIN 743 2017. We are going to have a unilateral test since we're only testing the right leg. We're going to have 1 set. 5 reps. Speed away should be 30, about 30. And that is how you do that. We're going to hit save. And that is how you make a new patient, and that's how you create a new protocol. So now that we've gone through the patient protocol, we need to set up the Biodex. You will need the right knee attachment. There are attachments on the wall over here. But this is the one we're going to use. So the most important thing is when we go to put this on, we have to make sure this attachment is lined up right here. I'm going to slip it on like so. Sometimes it's going to move on you. All you have to do is hit the hold button. We're going to slide it on. Make sure this all lines up. and attach it like so. This will secure your knee adapter to the Biodex system. So the next, we're going to ask the patient to come on, and he's going to sit down. So then now we need to configure the Biodex to his specific height. What we're looking for is we want the Biodex, this little knot right here, to line up with his knee joint. So I have to scoot this out towards me. It's going to be about 16.5. So this is a little too far. And I might want to confirm that by scooting him in closer, but for now, I'm just eyeballing it. All right, I'm going to scoot him in closer. And the way we can do this is we have these foot pedals that scoot our patients in and out. And right about there. So he's nice and close. And I can confirm that this is about the appropriate place for our Biodex to be for our patient. And then next, we are going to strap him in. Since safety is a huge factor, we have to make sure these are nice and tight. This is a 2-pad system. So sometimes our Biodex, once people have worked with, they're familiar with 2 pads. I'm actually going to move this up just a bit. I don't want this to be on the belly of his calf, but I also don't want to hit the back of his shoe, so I'm just going to scoot this up ever so slightly before I secure him in. Just leave that. So scoot it up. We're going to secure him down, make sure it's not too tight. How does that feel? Tight or looser?
Good.
All right. Then next we're going to secure his leg down. So I'm going to secure this down like so. And again, how does that feel?
Good.
All right. And then from here, this is kind of a personal preference. You can either strap this down and then have 2 arm straps go across his chest, or you can just ask your patient to hold their arms like this. The idea behind what we're doing today is that we want to isolate the hamstrings and quadricep muscles. We don't want any assistance from the upper body to produce torque. So my personal preference is I'm just going to secure him down from here and ask my patient to hold their arms like this. It's a lot of fun. We climb around on this all the time. Great. How does that feel?
Good.
All right. So he is ready to go. He is secured in, and we are going to start our protocol. So now that we have him secured in, we're going to go in. I'm going to select my protocol. I'm going to go to isokinetic unilateral, and we are going to go through knee, and I'm going to find our test right there. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to hit the close. Now we need to set our patient's range of motion. So I'm going to click this button right here, and we are going to clear the limits. Make sure it's selected on the right leg. I'm going to ask our patient to kick all the way out. Kick back just a little bit and hold it. So we've set the away limit. Now go ahead and kick towards you. Come forward just a little, hold it. And so now we've set his limits, and I'm going to hit continue. Next we're going to weigh the limb, so go ahead and kick out. Just hold it right there. What I like to do is I like to make sure that they're not uncomfortable. That is not 90, we're weighing the limb. The limb is 15, I'm going to release. What we have to do now is set his leg at 90 degrees. I'm just going to hold it right about there. So now the Biodex knows that this is his 90 degree. We have his range of motion, and we have his limb weight. So now we are going to go through and actually have him execute the protocol. Remember, arms up here, don't hold down. Good luck, have fun. You're going to take a couple practice trials. So you can just start kicking, and when you're done, hold your leg at 90 degrees. How does that feel?
Good.
All right. So whenever you're ready, hold it at 90 degrees, and it's going to shout at you, and you have to do 5. 80% done. 90. And you're done. Good job. So that is the end of the Biodex protocol. It's a really great support system. Lets you know when you're done and cheers you on. And we are going to click yes to complete it. We're going to thank Scott. If we want, we can also pull up his data. And this is the torque generated at 30 degrees per second. So we can tell that we've produced a lot of torque. And that's basically how you run a Biodex protocol. Next, we'll go through how to shut it down. If I wanted to export to a flash drive, I'd go back in, I'd open my patient, go back to my patient, open it up, and I'd click on it, and I go to this button right here. And here we can see the graphs of all the work that was done during our 30 second isokinetic knee torque. What I do next, I'd go here, I'd hit save, hit OK, and I'd go to log to file. The important thing with this to know is that this is going to export it as a text file. So I will save this, save as, and I name it whatever I wanted to name, so I'll name it SA. And then what I do next is I save this text file to a flash drive, and if I wanted to pull the data from my text file, I export it to an Excel worksheet, and from there I can manipulate my numbers and I can work with my data to recreate this graph and to calculate velocity, acceleration, max power, average power, all that stuff that we can get from our printed report. So now that we've viewed the patient report, we can save it, we can export it. I'm just going to go ahead and close out of it, and I am going to exit out of the dynamic operation. I'm going to click out of that. So it's very important that we shut this down properly, otherwise we could crash the system, and that would not be very good because we get an earful about how awful that is. So what we have to do first is we have to shut down the computer first. And then once that's shut down, we come back behind the Biodex machine. We've turned it on, and now we turn it down. For what?